Welcome to ZoomInData. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining the 10th video in our comprehensive Azure Logic Apps series. In this session, titled Security, Authentication, and Networking Features, we will explore the comprehensive security model of Azure Logic Apps, including authentication mechanisms and data protection, managed identities and how they eliminate secret management in workflows, advanced networking capabilities such as virtual network integration, private endpoints, and on-premises connectivity, best practices for securing enterprise-grade integrations in cloud, hybrid, and regulated environments. Security is a foundational aspect of Logic Apps, especially for mission-critical B2B, financial, healthcare, and government workloads. If you find this content valuable, please subscribe to ZoomInData and enable notifications to follow the complete series. Let us begin. What is the overall security posture of Azure Logic Apps? Azure Logic Apps inherits the full enterprise-grade security capabilities of the Microsoft Azure platform, including encryption at rest and in transit, compliance with major standards, ISO 27001, SOC 2, HIPAA, GDPR, FedRAMP. All data processed by workflows is encrypted using Microsoft Managed Keys by default, with Customer Managed Keys, CMK, available for additional control. The platform provides defense in depth through identity management, network isolation, threat protection, and auditing, logging. How does Azure Logic Apps handle data encryption? Data at rest is automatically encrypted using Azure Storage Service encryption with 256-bit AES keys managed by Microsoft. Customers can enable Customer Managed Keys, CMK, using Azure Key Vault for greater control over encryption keys. Data in transit is always protected using TLS 1.2+ with strong cipher suites enforced by default. What authentication methods are supported for connectors and workflows? Managed identities, system-assigned and user-assigned, provide the most secure, credential-less authentication for Azure resources. OAuth 2.0, API keys, basic authentication, and certificate-based auth are supported for managed and custom connectors. On-premises data gateway uses secure outbound-only connections with Windows authentication or service accounts. Explain managed identities in Azure Logic Apps and why they are recommended. Managed identities are Azure AD identities automatically managed by Azure, no credentials to store, rotate, or leak. System-assigned identity is created and deleted with the Logic App resource. User-assigned can be shared across multiple resources. Recommended because they eliminate secret management risk, simplify RBAC, and support secure access to Key Vault, storage, Cosmos DB, and other Azure services. How do you enable and use managed identity in a Logic App workflow? In the Azure portal, go to the Logic App, Identity Blade. Enable system-assigned or assign a user-assigned identity. Grant the identity the necessary RBAC roles, example, Key Vault Secrets User, Storage Blob Data Contributor, on target resources. In connectors or HTTP actions, select Managed Identity as the authentication type. No keys or tokens are ever exposed in the workflow. What is Virtual Network, VNet, integration in Azure Logic Apps? VNet integration allows standard Logic Apps to run inside a virtual network, restricting public internet access and enabling private connectivity to resources. It supports outbound traffic routing through private endpoints, service endpoints, or network security groups, NSGs. Consumption model offers limited VNet support via private endpoints only, no full outbound VNet integration. How do private endpoints enhance security in Logic Apps? Private endpoints provide a private IP address within your VNet for accessing Azure services, key vault, storage, API management, without traversing the public internet. They eliminate public DNS resolution and exposure of service endpoints, reducing attack surface dramatically. Essential for regulated industries requiring network isolation and zero-trust architecture. Explain the on-premises data gateway security model. The on-premises data gateway establishes outbound-only secure connections from your internal network to Azure using HTTPS, port 443. No inbound ports need to be opened on your firewall. All communication is initiated from inside your network. Gateway uses Windows Authentication or service accounts, encrypts credentials, and supports high-availability clusters. What role does Azure Key Vault play in securing Logic Apps? Key Vault securely stores secrets, certificates, and keys used by connectors, inline code, or HTTP actions. Workflows access Key Vault using managed identities with least privilege access policies. Enables automatic secret rotation, centralized management, and auditing of all secret usage. How does Azure Logic Apps support zero-trust security principles? Identity-first access with managed identities and conditional access policies. Network isolation through private endpoints, VNet integration, and service endpoints. Continuous monitoring, threat detection via Microsoft Defender for Cloud, and just-in-time access controls. What compliance certifications does Azure Logic Apps support? Major global certifications include ISO 27001, ISO 27017 27018, SOC 1/2, 3, PCI DSS, HIPAA, HITECH, FedRAMP High, and many country-specific standards. Compliance is inherited from Azure. Customers are responsible for their application layer configuration and data handling. Microsoft provides detailed compliance reports and attestations through Service Trust Portal. How do you implement role-based access control, RBAC, for Logic Apps? Use Azure RBAC to assign built-in roles, contributor, reader, Logic App Operator, or custom roles at resource group or individual resource level. Logic App Operator role allows execution and management of workflows without modifying the definition. Apply least privilege principle. Developers get contributor in dev, operators get read, execute in production. What threat protection features are available for Logic Apps? Microsoft Defender for Cloud provides real-time threat detection, vulnerability assessment, and security recommendations. Defender for APIS, in preview, can protect exposed HTTP request triggers from malicious traffic. Integration with Microsoft Sentinel enables SIEM-level monitoring and automated incident response. How do you secure HTTP request triggers, webhook endpoints? Use SAS, shared access signature, keys with expiration and IP restrictions. Enable IP filtering or private endpoints to restrict access to trusted sources only. Add authentication, OAuth, API key, and validate incoming payloads with schema. What best practices exist for securing custom connectors? Define secure authentication schemes, OAuth 2.0 preferred, and never store secrets in connector definitions. Use managed identities or key vault when connecting to Azure services. Limit scope of permissions and regularly rotate credentials where applicable. How does Azure Logic Apps handle data residency and sovereignty? Customers choose the Azure region during resource creation. Data stays within that geography. Sovereign clouds, Azure Government, Azure China, offer isolated environments for strict data residency. Integration accounts and gateway data remain in the selected region. What logging and auditing capabilities are available? Diagnostic logs capture workflow runs, connector actions, authentication events, and errors. All logs can be sent to log analytics, event hubs, or storage for long-term retention and SIEM integration. Azure Activity Logs track management plane operations, create, update, delete. How do you implement content filtering and responsible AI in AI-integrated workflows? Use Azure AI Content Safety Connector to scan prompts and responses for harmful content. Configure moderation severity thresholds and block or flag inappropriate outputs. Implement human in the loop for high-risk decisions generated by AI. What is the difference between standard and consumption security features? Standard offers full VNet integration, private endpoints for inbound, outbound, and dedicated compute for stronger isolation. Consumption provides private endpoints and managed identity support but no full VNet outbound integration. Both models support the same identity, encryption, and compliance features. How do you secure integration accounts for B2B, ED? Store certificates and partner keys in integration accounts with encryption. Use private endpoints and RBAC to control access. Enable audit logging of all partner message exchanges. What disaster recovery and high availability features exist for security? Geo-redundant storage for data durability. Cross-region replication for integration accounts and custom connectors, manual or scripted. Failover capabilities in standard model using availability zones. How do you conduct security assessments for Logic Apps? Use Microsoft Defender for cloud recommendations for misconfigurations. Perform regular penetration testing and vulnerability scanning. Review RBAC assignments, private endpoint usage, and secret exposure. What are the latest security enhancements? As of January 2026. Enhanced private link support for more Azure services. Improved Defender integration with AI-specific threat detection. Native support for confidential computing in standard hosting, preview. Why is security knowledge essential for Logic Apps professionals? Most enterprise deployments involve sensitive data, financial, healthcare, PII. Interviewers frequently test secure design, managed identity versus keys, VNet isolation, secret management. Misconfigurations are a leading cause of security incidents in integration platforms. What should organizations prioritize when securing Logic Apps? Adopt managed identities as the default authentication method everywhere possible. Implement network isolation using private endpoints and VNet integration for all production workloads. Enable comprehensive monitoring, alerting, and regular security reviews to maintain a strong security posture. Thank you for watching this detailed session on security, authentication, and networking features in Azure Logic Apps. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to ZoomInData. More Azure Logic Apps interview and tutorial videos coming soon. Stay connected and keep learning. We will continue with the next topic shortly.